Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, how are you? I am your teacher, Gabby Keller. You are in elementary level UN in SEDA College Online. Hi, if it's your first day here, hi, welcome. My name is Gabby Keller. I am Brazilian, but I live in Ireland, Dublin, Ireland since 2015. So that makes 5 years that I live in Ireland. So, hi, I am your teacher for elementary level, and today we'll have new grammar and new vocabulary. That's fun. Happy Monday. So, if you don't have your notebook and your pencil or your pen, please be ready because we'll have exercises, and a few friends of ours just do them in their heads, which I really appreciate the effort of doing it at all. And I'm very happy you are doing the exercises. You're not just watching my ugly face this time of the morning, right? So I'll I'll wait for a few friends to join us, and I have my orange juice here today, and I don't have coffee today because, my friends, I am drinking too much coffee and I start shaking, and that's very bad. So I'm making sure I'm going slow my day. Oh, my mouse is on. Hold on. Okay, good. So, if you don't mind, we can start our class, right? So, I told you a few classes back that we would be having um, the months and the years, and today is the day. So if you don't know, our, of course you do, our years, they have 12 months, and here they are on the screen for you. So I'll start reading them so you can understand a little bit of the pronunciation and taking your notes at the same time, all right? So we have first month, January, Jan January, January. How is written here? January, January. Quite fast. January. Uh, 2, February. 3, March. April. That's quite easy. April. 5, May. 6, June. June. 7, July. July. August for number 8. August. August. 9, September. Do you remember this schwa sound that we had a few classes back? Schwa. September. Number 10, October. 11, November. November. 12, December. So that's our months of the year, right? So, um, which is the month of your birthday? Because mine is in October, right? The same day of as John Lennon's birthday. That is the 9th of October. So give me happy birthday when you can, if you are watching me in this October, or if you remember to tell me happy birthday in October. And which is the month of your birthday? Tell me a little bit more about you. Let's share this intimacy, right? So I'll give you a few seconds to copy everything you have to copy for your notes, so you can have that vocabulary in your memory for later on, right? I broke my, like that mug I was using for water. I broke it this morning, so I'm quite upset. So this is what I ended up with. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, right? And next one, our years, my friends. So we read the years two by two. For example, 2020, right? The year we are at 2020. We have 2021, and the year of my birthday, the year I was born, 1992. Two by two. So you can say any year now that you want. 2020, 2021, 1992. Some people also say the last two numbers of the year. For example, I was born in 92, just the last two, 92. That's a good tip as well. If you're on the phone, you need to give your information to the bank or to, I don't know, confirmation of address, and then you can say just the last two, 1992, 92, for example. I made this juice today, and it's quite sour to be very honest, but I put lemon in it, and I love lemon. All right, can we keep going then? Because, my friends, expressions of frequency. So, frequency, as you can read by the name, is a frequent. So how much frequent, often you do something. All right. So I have here the days of the week, and we have every day checked. So I do something every day, or I do every week. So every week I have classes with Gabby Keller. That's Gabby, teacher Gabby. So every day, every week, week, every week. So I have something, I do something week by week. So week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, boom. I do something every week or every day. I have, for example, I work every day. I kind of have to for planning these classes. Every day, every week. That's quite easy, isn't it? So next one gets a little bit more complicated. That is, well, not that one. So every month. So you see all the months here of the year, and I have them checked. So I do something every month, or something happens to me, or someone tells me something happens every month or every year. For example, I take the flu shot. You know the flu? You know when you get your nose um, uh, blocked, and then your eyes are burning a little bit, and then you're very tired, and you're sneezing a lot, you're coughing a lot. That's the flu, right? And every winter you can get the flu shot done. So every year I take the flu shot, right? The flu shot every year. Or for example, every month, what do I do every month? Every month I pay the rent. You know, rent, when you live in a house that is not yours, you are just a tenant in an apartment or a house, and then you have to pay for living there every month, and that's rent. So I pay them the rent every month. Does that make sense? And every year. Let's go. Okay, this one's once a week. So once means just one time. So instead of saying only one time a week, you say once. You can say for different things. Once upon a time, that is the when a fairy tale starts, for example. Once the movie once that it's set in Dublin, you should watch it. It's quite good. So it's not every day, it's just one day, and that's once a week. We have twice a week. So twice is two times. As you can see here, where's my point? As you can see here, the checked only Tuesday and Thursday. So that's two times, twice a week. And we have three times. That's easy. So three times on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, a week. It can be any other days. It can be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Just needs to happen only three times, or two times, or just one time. So once, twice, three times. And you can say even more, four times, five times, seven times, eight times. Well, seven, because the week only had 7 days, for example. So as always, I'm giving you a little bit more for taking your notes, mental notes, as my friend Bia, just in your head. This glass here. Well, so I'll tell later about the glass, all right, when we are doing exercises. Then you have a little bit more of time to chat. Are you ready to go? Because we still have the year. So four times a year, or once a year, twice a year, and then you can go in so. So we have once, twice, and then the other ones go three times, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Right? Just once and twice, and all the rest is for the normal numbers. So here we have 2020, and for example, what did I do? Why did I do only four times a year? I call my grandmother four times a year. That should be right. So January, check. April, check. July, check. And October, check. That's the only times of the year I call my grandmother, which is not right, I know. Who has the time though? So times a year. Four times, three times, twice, once a year. For example, once a year I take the flu shot. Once a year I travel. Once a year I have my holidays. Twice a year I take my holidays, for example. So I'll explain you now how to put that in a sentence. So we have here expressions of frequency go at the end of the sentence. So you have your sentence, your verb phrase, and then your expression of frequency that all the others you learned before. So letter A, I have English class 5 times a week. So that happens 5 times a week. Or she doesn't work every day. So we have here all the days checked, check, but she does not work every day. We don't know how many, but she does not work every day. Teacher Gabby doesn't work every day of the week, right? Only works 6, for example. Letter C, I take the flu shot every year, as I told before. So the flu shot, that hopefully we will get very soon for this virus. Every year I take the flu shot. D, he goes to the gym twice a week. So twice a week, only 2 times a week. Letter E, we do yoga every day. There you have it. You have your sentence and expression of frequency. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to finish your notes. End of the sentence. 5 times a week, every day, every year, twice a week, every week. There you have it. So now, next one is an exercise. So I hope you have everything ready. You took your notes and you remember in your head everything you should do. So, exercises. You need to put in the right order. All right, I know you like that exercise, so that's why I give it to you so much. So, number 1, yoga day every I do. 2, food she week every by does it. 3, year the flu shot we every take. Number 4, to the dentist twice do go you a year. So can you please put them in the right order so we can correct in a while? Oh, so the glass story. In Ireland, well, at least in Dublin, it is quite normal. I'm not saying that is right. I'm just saying it's normal for people to bring home their pub glasses with them. So that is a glass that my friend was drinking the last Christmas party. All right, so I have a few friends and we go out. And in this pub, he was drinking a beer from this cup. And I looked at this cup and said, that's a beautiful cup. I'm going to bring home with me, which I did, and it's here. To be very honest, all my glasses are from stilled glasses. Every of them, every one of them. Even I have a friend that got married a few years ago in Ireland, and the presents, the gifts of her party was stone glasses from when she met people before the wedding. So, for example, she booked the date of her wedding. She set the date, and she was, Gabby, let's go out and have a pint, and I need to talk to you about a few things, which I did. And we went out and we went drinking, and while I was in the bathroom, she stole the cup I was drinking, put her in her bag, and then she wrote in the bottom the dates. She stole the glass that the day she went out with me, and like a present from the wedding and their names. And the day of the wedding, the present that she gave us, the little how they call mimo, lembrancinha of her wedding was the stolen cup, stolen glass. That's the word. So that's it. I don't think I have a glass that is not stolen. Don't call the guards. Please, it's just a cup. I'm not doing anymore. This Christmas one was the last one. I promise. Let's correct them, friends, and then we can keep going with our class. So we have number 1. I do yoga every day. Do you? I don't. It's just sometimes. Number 2. Food she week. Everybody doesn't. She doesn't buy food every week. Did you get that? Number 3. We take the flu shot every year. Number 4. Do you go to the dentist twice a year? That's a question. So our verb be goes before everything. So do you instead of you do. You go. Do you? Right? We have 4. How many did you get right? You can tell me. So you can tell me here. I got, like Game of Thrones, G-O-T. I got, that's the past of get. 4 right. I got 2 right. I got 1 right. Or I got everything wrong. It's okay. It happens. You're learning, and making mistakes is part of the learning process. It's fine. I still get a lot of things wrong. Don't get me wrong. I know English. It's just sometimes it's difficult to think in a language, speak in another, or vice versa. Or thinking of both and not saying any of the languages right. It happens. So I hope you're taking your notes on the things you got wrong, if you did, and we can keep going. What do you think? So now we have adverbs of frequency. Before we had expressions of frequency, and now we have adverbs that are words that tell how many times you do something. So that's a question. Well, how many times you do something? You can do something usually, often, sometimes, always, frequently, never. And this word, my friends, is something that I struggle, and I've been in Ireland for 5 years. So rare, it's from not too many, right? It's something that happens just sometimes, or something is very rare, a rare animal, right? So we have rarely, rarely. It's a very difficult word. I don't expect you to say that word right now. It's all right. And I'll teach you. I'll show you now. Here they are. All of them and how many they happen. So let's go from never to always. We have here never. It doesn't happen. Something does not happen at all. It does not happen. We have hardly ever. That's a little bit more, but it's not too much. It's just a little bit more than never. Does it make sense? We have sometimes. That happens some of the time. It doesn't happen always, but not never. And there's a little bit more of hardly ever. For example, I hardly ever I haven't been doing. I hardly ever drink sugar, right? So I don't normally, there you go. I don't normally drink sugar. I don't put sugar in my coffee. I don't put sugar in my tea. I don't put sugar in my juices. I don't put sugar. So I hardly ever drink sugar. It happens sometimes, but it's hardly ever. So we have often and frequently. And often, frequently can be normally and mostly. You know, like most, that's the majority. Most, mostly, monthly, not mostly, mostly. That happens a lot. It happens. We have usually, that is, happens most of the time. So most, we have there again. And usually can be normally as well. So that's something that is normal or usual. No, usual, usually. That's an adverb. Normal, normally, another adverb. So they are words that explain how many times you do something or something happens. And we have always. You know, always happens all the time. Making mistakes happens all the time. And I'll give you some examples. If you're taking your notes, we can go with examples. But I'll say one more time the words just in case. So we have never, hardly, hardly ever, sometimes, often, frequently, usually, normally, always. All right. Let's go for examples then. Okay, I have here our set, our arrow, and we can go with our numbers here. Number 1, I always do yoga in the morning. So every morning, that's an expression of frequency. Every morning, I do yoga. Always. That's something that is always happens. That's the church in front of my house. It's very annoying. It is going to set every time I'm making a class for sure. So now we have number 2. I usually do the dishes after dinner. So dishes, my friends, do you remember what it is? Let me just take my here. Dishes is when you finish eating, you end up with your fork, your knife, and your plate, and you have to wash the plate and the fork and the knife already. So all right. So those are dishes, and you do the dishes, which means you clean the things you have to clean, right? So I normally do the dishes after dinner. So when dinner finishes, right, I ate everything and I clean everything and then I go relax. So I normally do the dishes after dinner. Number 3, I often check the comments on the videos, and that's very true. Normally once a day, there you go, once a day, I check all the videos to see if you have any comments for me. So that's what I do every day. So that's often. It happens quite a lot, and often is frequently. So often and frequently, I often check the comments on the videos. Number 4, sometimes I wake up late. You can also say I wake up late sometimes. Sometimes is something that can go in the front or at the end of the sentence, depending how you want to say something actually. So sometimes is not always, no, always, and it's not never. I know more or less where things go. Always or never. It's in the middle of it sometimes. Number 5, I hardly ever drink wine. So it's not never, but it's not sometimes. It's hardly ever I drink wine. Or number 6, I am never upset with people. I don't get upset. I am never upset. So I am never upset with people. I'm a cool person. I'm a cool gal. I go easy. I never upset. You're zen. Your chakras are aligned. If you allow me, can I skip the slide and go to the next one? I hope you're taking your notes, because now, my friends, word order. I'll show you where things go. Okay? For example, when we have a main verb that is not be, which is be. So be, am, is, are. When we have one of them, our adverb of frequency goes after. So I have the verb and after. But when we don't have the verb be in the sentence, it goes before. Before. So we have adverbs of frequency, main verbs. For example, I always have coffee for breakfast. So have is our main verb. Have coffee, drink coffee. And always, so always have coffee. B, does she usually walk home? Remember, home is not to home, it's just home, no preposition. So does she usually walk? So walk is our main verb. She goes walking home. So adverb, main verb. C, it frequently rains in Ireland, which is very true. So frequently rains. Frequently, adverb, main verb. D, sometimes I drink wine with dinner. Because you won't say sometimes drink I wine with dinner. It doesn't, if you can have other things in the middle, but adverb, main verb. E, we hardly ever go to the cinema. So go is our main verb here. So adverb, hardly ever, main verb, go to the cinema. F, he never eats meat. So he eats, remember? So he, adverb, never, main verb, eats. That's quite easy, isn't it? Hope you're taking your notes. And then with the verb be, it goes after. So I am never late for class. So I am never late for class. Am, verb be, and then after we have our adverb. So am, never, and then the rest of the sentence. Be, he is, that's our verb be, hardly ever annoyed. Do you remember annoyed is when you are upset, something is getting your nerves. So if, for example, the church bell that it goes bang bang the whole time, that's annoyed. I'm annoyed by the church bell. So he is hardly ever, it's not never, but hardly ever annoyed. C, they are sometimes very fast. So that's about me, teacher Gabby. She is sometimes very fast, which is true. So are, verb be, sometimes, adverb of frequency. We have D, Maria is often nice, right? So it's not always, but often. It's quite something normal. Normally, she's very nice. She is normally nice. E, we are usually hungry at 7 p.m. That is dinner time, normally. So, are, verb be, usually, adverb. And F, are you always late? So, are you? So, it's a question. Our verb be goes before the sentence. Are you always late? If it's not a question, it's an affirmation, affirmative, is you are always late. You just change. But even though it's before you are always late, are you always late? The adverb of frequency goes after, right? I mean, for you is to the right. Oh, anyway, hope you had time to take your notes, my friends, because we need to go. We have exercises to do. Okay, but I have a little bit of an explanation. So, don't and doesn't, that means the negatives, right? So the negative form is don't, doesn't. That's the negative form. Adverb of frequency and then the verb. For example, I don't always have coffee for breakfast. So I don't always, that's in the middle, adverb of frequency, have coffee for breakfast. B, doesn't she usually walk home? You see, now it's a question, and the doesn't goes to the front of the sentence. So doesn't she usually, in the middle, walk home? So between doesn't and usually, no, and walk, we have usually. C, it doesn't frequently rains in Ireland, which is a lie. It rains a lot in Ireland, but doesn't, frequently, adverbs of frequency, verb rains. So doesn't and don't, it's on italic, and frequently underlined, rain and rains, that's our verb, in bold. And one more thing, that with never and hardly ever you put positive verbs after. For example, he never drinks. So drinks, it's a positive form of the verb, right? When it's a negative form, we say don't drink, doesn't drink in the front, because it's with don't and doesn't, we have a negative form, right? But with hardly ever and never, we always put something positive after. For example, it is not, he doesn't ever drink. Never. He doesn't never drink. For example, he does drink. He never drinks. You get me? So B, she hardly ever goes to the cinema. So goes is our verb and is in a positive form. If it was a negative form, it would be doesn't go. So it is not, she doesn't hardly ever goes to the cinema. You get me? Hardly ever and never after you put a positive form of a verb. All right? I hope you took your notes, because next slide is an exercise. Now, it's again putting the sentence in the right order. Number 1, fast food ever, we eat hardly. Number 2, usually work, what do you time start? 3, funny is teacher hour always. 4, always at she wakes up 8 o'clock. So you can please put them in the right order so we can correct them later. What do you think? So don't be upset. I said, I told you that I steal glasses from pubs because it doesn't happen too much. I don't have 20 glasses at home. I have 2 or 3, 4 maybe sometimes. Well, I mean, I broke one of my glasses today, so I might have 3 now. And I might, maybe, I will steal another one after this is gone. It's just for celebration. I love that glass. I really do. It was a very nice. Uh, I'm upset. And it was silly. I was like hardly. No, I was still sleeping a little bit. I was taking my medicine, and then the glass just jumped off the table. That was happened. The glass jumped off. It commit suicide. That's what he did. Jumped off my table. I swear that was. I saw it with my own eyes. Mm, a nice juice. Blaming on my juice. Blaming on my juice. Na na na. I'll give you a little bit more of time to finish them because they can be a bit difficult, these ones. Maybe on today's Monday. Let me see, I have my. So maybe on Thursday we can have more exercises in the word orders, and we can do an exercise for each rule. What do you think? I think it's a good idea. Then you remember a little bit more, and then at the end I make them all together. What do you think? Is that a good idea? If you're not watching me this on Monday, and then you think what Thursday she's talking about, so in 2 days, 3 days, on the third day, we'll have 3 classes from now. We'll have a review, right? So that will be the 30th of April, the last day of April. That's fun. I hope you're finishing it up, guys, because we do need to go. Our time is nearly up. And something I need to say before we correct and say goodbye. I love recording classes for you. I really do. It's something that makes me very happy because I am a teacher, right? I was a teacher in Brazil, and this year completes 10 years that I graduated. So I feel that I'm back to my roots. I'm feeling as myself again because I really love teaching. I really love being a teacher. I really do. And recording these classes make me feel closer to you. And I don't really feel good recording classes and planning. Planning is not that fun, but recording is very fun. I love this with you guys. I really do. So now this sweet moment we had, let's correct the answers. Correct the answers, correct the questions. So number 1, we hardly ever eat fast food. That's very healthy. Hardly ever. So it's maybe once a year. I don't know. Number 2, what time do you usually start work? So Gabby, teacher Gabby, I start work at 10 a.m., for example. What time do you usually start work? Number 3, our teacher is always funny. Thank you. Thank you. Where is my... So I want to say thank you to, firstly, God, and secondly, Fora Bolsonaro, and thirdly, thank you my mom, my students, my boyfriend. Stupid. That's silly. But our teacher is always funny. Thank you very much. Number 4. She always wakes up at 8 o'clock. She always wakes up at 8 o'clock. So she wakes, I wake up. I wake up, she wakes up. We change our verb for he, she, it, remember? So one more time for pronunciation, right? We hardly ever eat fast food. You can repeat after me if you want to. I didn't tell you, but we hardly ever eat fast food. What time do you usually start work? Our teacher is always funny. Me. 4. She always wakes up at 8 o'clock. We had 4 questions. How many did you get right? I got 4 right. I got 3 right. You can tell me. Or I got 0 right. It's okay, it happens. But tell me, and then I know how much you are doing with this grammar and this vocabulary so I can do better on the review day. What do you think? So our class, my friends, got to an end. I was sure that our class would last 30 minutes, and boy, I was wrong. But I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had fun like I had. And tell me, is that easy? Is that difficult? Is that hard? Because if you tell me, I can plan better classes for you, right? I hope you have a good day, my friends. I hope you're safe. I hope you're healthy. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.